Well, hello everybody, I hope you're having a absolutely fantabulous day. My name's NoobKing767 and today I will be showing you 10 epic tips for Bedwars beginners, and to be honest with you, I spent a few hours thinking and trying to come up with the most useful tips for beginners. I also use these tips on a daily basis as well, since although they're basic, they are in fact very useful. So with that said, let's jump right into the video. Every beginner thinks that camping is a good strategy because they keep thinking of the long run. I know this because within the first month of me playing the game, it's what I did. So I say I have some experience. What made me change my strategy was watching Purpled, which inspired me to sweat. An important thing to realize is that games never last that long. That's why thinking in the long run doesn't work in Bedwars. Most beginners only start to leave their base right after they maximum out forge, since they then think it's safe to leave. For sweats, we never buy forge, since in the grand scheme of things you never really need that much iron or gold. Also, camping takes a long time to de-wait at your base for 45 minutes and do absolutely nothing. Not only is this boring, you don't learn anything, since you're not fighting often, so you don't really improve at all. If you want to get good, it's important to realize that camping does not work, and if you want to win, you need to take out beds. The only times you'd ever want to axe PvP is if your tools do a lot more damage than your wooden sword. But besides that one specific thing that almost never happens, you don't want to axe PvP ever. First of all, axes are not the better choice for a weapon, although it says it does more damage than a sword. The thing people don't notice is the axe's lowered attack speed, which actually makes the axe weaker. In gaming, the acronym DPS is used to abbreviate damage point per second, so although an axe does more damage on the first hit, after that it does less. Unlike axes, swords have a much higher DPS count than an axe, so swords do more damage. Plus there's another reason to not axe PvP. When axe ping, you can't block hit or block in general, so not only can you not take less damage by blocking, you're more vulnerable to getting comboed when axe ping, since you don't hit fast enough to combo the other player. So in case you haven't noticed before, sometimes Bedwars players, including you, will sometimes have a red squiggle on top their head. This red squiggle appears when a player has TNT in their inventory. This piece of info can help you out immensely, since if they rush you with TNT, you now know which one to kill first. This information is incredibly useful. It can help you determine what to do based on the situation. That's why it's such an incredibly useful tip. An example of this is when your bed gets broken and the person is still at your base. Most likely the player will stand on the bed and try and signal you to come over to them. It's the trap, don't do it. They'll lead you out of the base and try and knock you off an edge. The smart thing to do is wait in the gen and buy gaps and a better sword. You can get baited in several ways. Another way is after a play runs mid, they'll go to the island next to yours, which they then bait you to follow, then pearl to your island. You can usually tell when a person's baiting you because they'll block their sword or wait for you to run after them. Another is if you see them looking up at a 45 asterisk angle, they're looking in F5 to see if you're following them, thus baiting you. Then you will run to the edge of a bridge, they'll make it over first, then turn around and tap you off into the void. If you don't want to get baited, look for signals and try and think of whether you're getting baited or not. If so, back off or build up. When fighting someone, especially when they're above their base, you never want to stand close to an edge or they'll tap you off. For example, when your bed's gone, don't just run out and be like, so that's where my bed got broken. The other player will be waiting for you there and they'll tap you off, so make sure to not run out like a noob. A good strat is to be able to get her back up against a wall. That will help you in a PvP fight. Moral of the story: don't stand close to an edge or you'll get tapped off the edge. I've seen noobs do this often, but once your bed is broken, you don't have to chase them. They'll lead towards the base's stairs, then they'll turn around and tap you off, so make sure when you're in a PvP fight you're not near an edge. I've seen this happen to a lot of new players. So when you're in an epic Minecraft PvP encounter with another mine man, and if you're getting comboed super hard to the point you think you'll die soon, I'd recommend just running away until you get stacked. Anyways, back to the tip. When you're fighting someone, I'll see a player get comboed, which is when a player can hit another player while the other can't. The noob getting PWND mate will just keep holding down W to try and get closer to the player to hit them. When you do this, you actually make it easier for the other player to combo you. So to fix this, just strafe, turn around and run. Strafing, which is moving left or right, will get you out of a combo, and block hitting can also help depending on how close they are. Just remember to not hold down W when getting comboed, you just make it easier for the person comboing you to combo you. So this tip may seem a bit cliche or obvious, but seriously it's important to not give up. When starting out, there were many times where I'd go on these like losing sprees, and it made me so mad I didn't play Bedwars for like a week. Bedwars games have a bit of luck to them, so you might get unlucky, but you will win eventually. It's not impossible. You have to realize that when you start to lose confidence in yourself, it affects your game performance, so just stay optimistic and think that there's always a next time, or see every loss as an opportunity, or just say M8 you potato why are getting mad over a block game. In comparison to the rest of the traps, mining fatigue is by far the best. Not only does it make it harder for them to reach your bed, it makes players swing their sword slower as well, so they do less damage. So it's like a 2-for-1 special. Besides the fact the mining fatigue trap is op, all of the other traps are useless. For example, the counter-offensive trap. I mean, when would you ever need speed and jump to stop an intruder? That it's so useless. Now the alarm trap actually has a chance, since it does help out a bit, but you can notice footprints and see particles, so it's not too hard to find a invis dude in your base. Plus invis only lasts for 30 seconds, so they'll fight you to get you away from the bed. Overall, the mining fatigue trap is the best. Make sure to buy it when you get the chance. It can really help out your game. In most scenarios, after collecting emeralds from mid, you never want to buy diamond armor. First of all, Pro 2 with sharp is pretty close enough to diamond armor, I believe, so don't count me on it. But what you need to realize is typically after breaking another team's bed, it's usually safe to say they're gone, since now you can repetitively attack them with no worry, while they have to worry about not dying. So what you actually want to spend your emeralds on are all the pots, which costs 4 emeralds, or if possible pots and a pearl. Ender pearls are very useful in Bedwars, since they can save your life when you're a final, or help you get a bed. Pearling to one base from a different base to break one's bed is a really good strat, so that's what you should spend with your Ms. This is honestly the most important tip I could give to any beginner, since it's the fundamental way to improve. After losing a game or dying, I try and think of what their strategy is, and I look for flaws against them or that strategy. It's also important to self-reflect what you did in that situation. Maybe try something new. If it works, keep doing it until you find something better. If you can't see what you did wrong, then you can't improve. It's that simple. That's why you have to learn from your mistakes to get better. Also, if you can't learn from your own mistakes, learn from others. To be honest with you, this is one of the things I did to get good. Watch YouTubers, good ones may I add, and copy what they do, since if it works for them, why shouldn't it work for you? I'd recommend watching the following YouTubers, since they are really good at the game: Purpled, Sammy Green, Hashito, and the #1 Bedwars player of all time, Gamma Boy 80. Not only does he show how to sweat, but his content is really funny too. These are all the tips I have for you guys. If you're a beginner, I'd use these. If you want to improve, mainly tips 10, 7, 6, 5, 1. These are the most useful. I plan on releasing 10 tips to become a Bedwars sweat, so check out that video when it comes out for more epic tips. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye M8.